What's up, guys? Carolina Jackpot coming at you on Sunday morning, September 5th. You know it's time. I do this every Sunday during the football season. My list of big winners and big losers from last night's action, yesterday's action. I know we got a game tonight, Florida State, Miami, and then there's a game tomorrow night, but we're just going to keep with the rhythm of doing this on Sundays. Got to do the picks against the spread as well. Recap video, which will be separate, and I will give out my picks for tonight's game and tomorrow night's game at the end of that video. So stay tuned for that. Anyway, yesterday, who looked good yesterday? Who were the big winners yesterday? First of all, I got to talk about my Gamecocks, of course. Last night, it pretty much what I expected to see from them. Hurricane coming through or something. Woo! Nothing too flashy, nothing real exciting. I did like the little running in for two after the first touchdown, the little beamer ball stuff. Had a couple of block punts, interception return for a touchdown at the end there by Jordan Birch was nice to see. While it was a suffocating performance by us defensively, I don't know if that was more our suffocating defense or Eastern Illinois' ineptitude. You have to look at that both ways. I would like to have seen a bit more aggressiveness from us as far as quarterback pressures. I think we only got 2 sacks as opposed to another team had 7 sacks last night. We'll get into that in a minute. But, against an Eastern Illinois offensive line with the edge rushing talent we have on the defensive line, I just feel like we should have gotten a little bit more than that. Brad Johnson did have a sack, and it was nice to see that Zach Pickens deliver a sack last night as well. So good to see some of those guys who've been kind of disappointing or just kind of, meh so far in their career with the Gamecocks shine last night a little bit. Next up is East Carolina. It's going to be a totally different ball game. Obviously a much better team than Eastern Illinois, and they looked better Thursday night in the second half of their game than they did in the first half against Appalachian State. They really couldn't get a rhythm going. Offensively, they could move the ball a little bit. Defensively, they're hot garbage, and they gave up a lot of big plays to Appalachian State, which is exactly what I thought they were going into the season. So we'll see with the Gamecocks. Should have Luke Doty back, and should have Kevin Harris back in the lineup against them. If not, it's going to be a tall ask to go to Greenville, North Carolina and win that game with a bunch of backups. So we'll see. I'm just being honest with you because East Carolina is going to be fired up after losing that game and bringing a Power 5 team into their house. Doesn't happen very often. Normally it's just when one of the North Carolina schools comes to town. I can't think of the last time a non-North Carolina Power 5 team came to East Carolina. Tennessee on Thursday night. It looked good for what it was. They're crowing about how well their defense looks this year. That also you could probably chalk up a little bit to Bowling Green's ineptitude on offense. Bowling Green did move the ball on them a little bit, probably a little bit more than what I expected them to. But overall, pretty good outing by Tennessee. Joe Milton, the fans, they're giving him a little bit of slack. Tim Tebow's on the CBS whatever, or on the SEC network thing, wherever he was at. He was kind of, dogging him out a little bit, whatever. Tebow, you learn to play tight end first. Just, about what I expected from them as well. But we'll see. They take on Pittsburgh this week, and it's hard week 1, week 2 to really gauge because, week 1, most teams play a cream puff team, and it's hard to gauge from that what you should pick there in week 2. Anyway, Kentucky, new offense, looks good so far. Will Levis, 350 yards passing. When was the last time a Kentucky quarterback had 350 yards passing? Probably not since Hefty Lefty. Look decent there. Covered the number against Monroe. Did let Monroe come out and punch him in the mouth early. It looked like was going to be a long day at the office, but they came back, got things right, and they were rolling. UCLA looked good last night. Was surprised to see that. Not really surprised to see them cover the number, I guess, but I was surprised to see them straight up beat LSU. And then once again, we never know. We were all told last year was a farce. UCLA or LSU's much better than that. Look how talented they are. Blah 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 blah. And they go out there and just absolutely lay an egg. Well, yeah, lay an egg. UCLA with a nice win there too. Should be ranked when the polls come out after this week's games are complete. Jake Bentley last night, 10 of 12 passing for South Alabama, with a 31-7 win at home against Southern Miss. I have no hate in my heart for Jake Bentley. I'm glad to see him go out there and do something against, a team with a pulse. Southern Miss is not a horrible football team, so I was glad to see that happen. Good luck to him the rest of the way. Who knows? Maybe he picks himself up an undrafted free agent deal or something at the end of the season. Who knows? He loves to play football. Nevada, big winner last night. 22-17 over Cal. If you saw me, I gave that out as one of my Carolina jackpot picks against the spread. They had a horrible time of it. Tulane was another team that had a horrible time of it. They had to move the game against Oklahoma to Norman, Oklahoma, and they played respectably. A lot of people are like, Oklahoma almost lost to Tulane. Well, yeah, it was 40-35, but Tulane scored like the last two touchdowns of that game, made the final score. Looked closer than what the game really was. Oklahoma took care of business there. But that margin's not what they wanted. Anyway, getting back to Nevada, this team, there were wildfires in the Northern California area right there because the University of Nevada is in Reno, which is right on the California line. I think you could throw a rock and hit it. Wildfires everywhere. Smoke suffocating you out there, so they can't practice outdoors. So I guess they have no indoor practice facility at Nevada. So they had to travel like 2,000 miles just around the country, just like nomads, for several weeks. They practiced on top of a Motel 6 parking garage. They practiced in a Rite Aid parking lot, and they practiced in like a church basketball gym somewhere out in Mormon country, and still go on the road and take down Power 5 team in Cal 22-17. Nice win by them there. Now, let's talk about the big losers, because we always got to talk about the big losers. And we'll talk about the winner here too. The Taters. It's not so much, I don't take so much pleasure in it. Because that game last night was just not, it didn't live up to billing for me. Don't get me wrong, I like a good defensive struggle if that's what I'm expecting. But I don't think any of us were expecting a huge defensive struggle. 10-3 final score, no offensive touchdowns scored in that game. DJ Ukulele, 19 of 37 through the air. Less of 100 yards passing, 150. They got 180 total yards. But Georgia only amassed like 250 total yards. Stop. J.C. Daniels didn't look great either. But the difference, they were able to run the ball. Zamir White got about, 75, 80 yards last night. So that defense, though, for Georgia just absolutely smothered them. Clemson, I knew Clemson was probably going to have some problems on the offensive line with some, young players up there, moving around some positions and that. But my gosh, I didn't know that it was going to be this bad. That offensive line coach, he better, stop tossing around racial slurs and start working on blocking, because they definitely need it. Horrible performance there. Ukulele, like I say, on his back 7 times in the game last night. He's not a Heisman Trophy candidate by any stretch of the imagination. I live in the upstate of South Carolina, and I listen to Tater Radio all the time, and these idiots sitting here telling us he's going to be a Heisman Trophy candidate after week 1. You watch. He's going to be a Heisman Trophy candidate. He ain't going to be a Heisman Trophy candidate this year, period. That just killed your chances right there, son. Done. kaput. And then you're going to sit there and tell me you're going to go 11-1 after that performance? I highly doubt it. I think you lose one somewhere else on that schedule. Hell, you may lose two. NC State looked really good the other night. Looked really good against South Florida. You go on the road. Shut up, dude. Stop. Let's let me do this video. Thank you. The good boy. Yeah, you may take it there. I mean, I don't know. We'll have to see. Joseph Nagata caught a couple passes. He looked okay. Will Shipley, Shiflett, whatever his name is, gone. I mean, we're expecting great things from him. Absolutely nothing. Don't sit here and tell me, well, he's a freshman. It's his first game. No, I don't want to hear it. 5 stars, right? 5 stars all over the field. Y'all like shit. Congratulations to Georgia. Your defense played well. Offensively, you couldn't get your way out of a wet paper sack either. Okay, so good luck against my Gamecocks in a couple of weeks. That's all I got to say. I'm done with my love for you. I'm going back to saying, to hell with both teams. Whatever. We're done. Georgia, this marriage is over. You did what I needed you for. I'm like a gold digger, okay? It's like the woman gold digger syndrome. You gave me what I wanted, and now I'm leaving your ass. Who else looked bad? UNC on Friday night. What in the world? That was, okay, I get it that, Lane Stadium was packed. It was rocking. They were jumping around. They played Enter Sandman. We did all that. I mean, they do that every game, don't they? I mean, it did have a little bit of a special vibe, I guess. I mean, the crowd was a little bit more amped up, and a huge crowd to me for a Friday night. And that was probably the loudest crowd I saw all weekend. You're supposed to be a contender, right? You're supposed to be ACC Coastal, right? Not seeing it. So we can definitely tell that last year's success was definitely the sum of the parts. It was the sum of the parts. No De'Ami Brown, no Michael Carter, a bunch of receivers gone. Bo Corrales was out. Sam Howell, just by himself, he's just a guy. Nothing special. And, tried to come back at the end, but just wasn't enough there. UNC, big loser. Miami, another big loser. I actually picked them against the spread to cover against Alabama. And I feel like an absolute idiot for doing it. But at the same time, I wasn't. Because, at some point in time, somebody's got to jump up and punch these people in the mouth. It wasn't Miami yesterday. They looked horrible. They were inept. Derek King was non-factor. Alabama's defense, just suffocating. They just do what they always do. Just keep on rolling out there. Just keep pushing out their 5 stars after 5 stars after 5 stars, and they just keep reloading and winning football games. It's the damnedest thing that I've ever seen. There was nobody that played college football this weekend that could have competed with them yesterday, and it damn sure wasn't Miami. Looked bad. West Virginia, another team that disappointed me yesterday, goes on the road, takes the L 30-24, wasn't it? Yeah, to the Turtle. West Virginia, what do you do? Is there not a more Jekyll and Hyde football team in the world than West Virginia? They are just so hard to get a beat on for me. Just hard to get a beat on. Illinois loses yesterday, 37-30 to the UTSA Roadrunners. Gave that one out as well. I told you that I didn't think that what happened last Saturday was so much what Illinois did as much as it was what Nebraska did not do. But not a good football team there. Georgia Tech. How do you lose it? How do you lose at home to Northern Illinois? How do you lose at home to Northern Illinois? So in his time at Georgia Tech, Jeff Collins has now lost to the Citadel. He's lost to Syracuse, and now he's lost to Northern Illinois. But we were told they're improving. But, Paul Johnson, we had to tear down everything that he did and reform ourselves in this image, which was a complete and utter disaster. It's a complete and utter disaster. I mean, under Paul Johnson, were you national championship contenders? No. But you did make it to the ACC championship game several times. Were ranked several times. You made it to Orange Bowls, and you made it to some of the lower level bowls under Paul Johnson. Now we're bringing in this guy, wants to run a totally different offense, and it's just been a huge disaster. A huge disaster. Georgia Tech, big loser yesterday. UL Lafayette, another big loser yesterday. I mean, everybody, we all fell for it. I didn't fall for it. I took Texas to cover the 8-point spread, which is what had been bet down to here. In our contest, I actually took UL Lafayette because we went with the opening line, which was like 16. I said, no way that Texas is covering that. Well, they did. About 38-18, I think, was the final score there. Not a great performance there by UL Lafayette. I mean, on the road, I did figure they would struggle a little bit with that big crowd. I thought it might get to them a little bit, and it did. Texas with the nice win there, starting off the Steve Sarkisian era the right way. Mizzou, the other team, didn't look great yesterday. Didn't look great against Central Michigan. They did what they needed to do to get the job done. Mississippi State didn't look great yesterday. Rode the struggle bus to a win over La Tech. I took La Tech to cover in that game too. I feel that was too many points. But that's about all I've got there as far as big winners and big losers. As far as tonight's games go, I'll have to look at those when I do my picks against the spread recap here in just a little bit. I'm going to look at those games and give you my honest assessment of what I think will go down in those. But, Iowa, big winner yesterday, too, at home. Made Illinois look horrible. Michael Penix Jr. and them, a farce. Just not very good at all. So that's about it, guys. Big winners, big losers from yesterday in college football. I will see y'all later. Appreciate you. Peace. And I'm out. And go Gamecocks. Woo. It feels good to be 1-0, baby.